behind down so that it doesn't interfere with the online broadcast. And so with that, let me just first say the name of these candidates. Hopefully you brought some paper, you can take some notes. We have Jeff Yocum. Let's clap for each of these candidates. We have Bob DeVore. We have Tina Burnell. And we have Marie Harris. Or Lisa Marie. I've heard it both ways.
Okay.
I've heard it both ways. Okay, the structure, I have given 3 basic questions for each of these candidates to know that are basically getting to know you questions. They will have 2.5 minutes to answer each one. Try not to veer from the topic of that question. It's basically just a way for you to present yourself to this audience. So don't go answering questions that are going to come up a little bit later. 2.5 minutes for each. I'll try to vary who starts so we don't have an advantage for any one person. We'll do our best. There will be a sign that indicates 30 seconds are left. Try not to go over. If you want to end early, you'll probably get some appreciation by the end of this night. All right. So let's just start on the right. The first question for all 4 candidates, and we're just going to go in order, is tell me about your background, including if you have any management experience. But what is your background and connection to this city? Basically, why do you care about Louisville? All right, so we'll start off with Jeff.
Hey, thank you guys very much for having me. My name is Jeff Yocum, and this is a great honor to be here. And I want to thank each and every one of you, and including the candidates. My opponent is Mayor Craig Greenberg. These are my allies. But people want to know my background. I'm born and raised in Louisville. I did not grow up wealthy. I grew up out in the South End. I witnessed one of my best friends murdered right in front of me. And I was on a path that was leading nowhere. So I decided to join the United States Navy, and they saved my life. They trained me for many years. I was a CTPL, Central Technical Publications Librarian, Aviation Maintenance Administration in 2nd class, and I was a leader of the new now COMIS, which is Naval Aviation's Logistics Command Information System, and I implemented it first for the United States military from when they transitioned from their legacy programs to their new current standard. And I'm well known for that, but I don't like to brag about myself. I was in an incident. I had holes in my eardrums from noise exposure. And the other thing, I don't play the vet card heavy because I know that the veterans were a very small community, but without the patriots like you standing behind us, we have no voice. So I honor all of you that honors that flag and knows, the price that was paid. But I had, what was it, babe? I think over 100 people underneath of me in the military. And they loved me and respected me. And when I was forced to retire, it hurt, it took my career away. So I came home. And then in leadership, this is the most important part. I joined the VFW because they were about to be closed. One of the posts that I joined, 1181, right? And the thing is there, it's nonpartisan. You don't go into a VFW and say, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or an independent. You will get shredded alive. I ended up in a leadership position, and I led that post honorably for 10 years of my life. And I've been a member for 12. They all respect me, they love me, and they're my brothers and sisters. So that's it. And that's it. And anybody that has a question, I will remain as long as I can answer each and every single one of your questions, because you showing up, that's what's matter. This is we the people, and this is what I'm in this race for. Thank you all.
All right, next up, let's go with Bob DeVore. What's your background, what's your connection to the city, and do you have any management experience since this is a management office?
Yes, sir. More with DeVore. My dad was in World War II. He went in at age 17. He had to have permission from his teacher and his mom. He had to sign that up. So my legacy goes with him. I went in the Navy in 1974, June 16th. Retired in 1999. Leadership ability, I made it up to lead, which is E6, Petty Officer First Class in the galley. So I'm help manage that, make sure that the crew and the Navy illicit got fed and fed well. And then I went ahead and went into civil service, which was over in Atlanta, and I had managed our safety training facility because no one else wanted to do it. And I said to myself, I read a book about 7 habits, take the least thing and make it better. So no one took that, so I went ahead and bed was the safety, and what happened was when I left there, I had everything organized. They could not find one person to take on the 3 spots I took. So the point of the matter is, I helped them educate on safety. Then I went ahead, my wife cornered me one day and said, you're gonna go back to Kentucky. So I ended up in McCreary County as food service manager. So I managed a cafeteria, and we had close to $500,000 when it comes to food and facilities. So I had to manage that. Then I went ahead and I had a chance to get into the site-based council, which is 1 year. Then I went into the school board, which we managed $25 million. We had 5, 6 different schools. Each school had managed their own place, but we still oversight what we had to tell them and set the expectations, the vision, because we walked into a classic audit, right on the spot. The first thing we did was we focused on reading at the 8th grade and kindergarten. Within 5 years, we caught up, because without reading, you can't comprehend. Then I went in, and I made another promise I'd be over there. Since I lost the last election in the school board, I went to Louisville, Kroger's for about 2 months, went in as a temp at UPS. Then I made permanent. Then I had 2 other jobs I had to do. There was the dock lead, I was HSP person, and I was the wellness champion. And I retired in 10 years. So the point of the matter is that I have a lot of management experience, not only in federal, state, and local school system, and I'm here to share this because I believe in servanthood and leadership first and foremost. Thank you very much.
It's too loud.
Okay.
Try it now.
Hello?
Is that better?
Too loud? Better? Okay. Okay. And we do want to keep it a little loud so we can hear it through the online. Okay? Yeah, Mike.
Arlene can see it at home. She's checking Facebook.
Perfect.
You're live and doing good.
All right, perfect. Okay, next up is Tina Burnell. Tina Burnell.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for having us out. My name is Tina Burnell. I am the founder of Louisville Metro Watchdog Alliance. It is a grassroots civic initiative that I started to raise awareness about things that are going on in local government, to promote transparency and accountability, and to just get more eyes on local government. I was born and raised in Southwest Louisville, graduated from Valley High School. I was the first in my family to graduate from college. I have a degree in business administration. My father worked at GE and retired from GE with the constant threat of layoffs, if you remember how those days were. My mother worked at a convenience store where she survived a gunpoint robbery, just trying to earn a living. I've known a lot of struggle, and I have continued to use those struggles and those hardships to refine who I am as a person. I lost my father to suicide. I lost my brother and my nephew to the grip of addiction. During COVID, my mother was locked down in isolation in a hospital, deprived of the presence of loved ones when they knew she was dying. We got to see her deceased on Zoom. So I have had a lot of heartache, but it made me who I am today. And who I am today is I am a fighter. I understand the importance of using my voice to stand up for what matters, to fight for what is right. And that is why you see me standing here today running for mayor. Because what I have seen over the last few years going on in our local government has me concerned enough that I am standing before you tonight. So it's important to me that our government operates in the public interest and has accountability and transparency. Government is supposed to be of, by, and for the people. And a lot of what I see going on here is we have a few at the top being served and the rest of us are getting crumbs. And I am totally against that. I am against socialism. I am against the elite living well off of our taxpayer dollars. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Tina. And last but not least, Lisa Marie Harris.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you again, everyone that is here. It's been a long time since I've seen your faces, and Happy New Year. But thank you again, Dr. Lance Pearson, for arranging this and allowing us all to be able to share our story. So, such is life. I'll start with my background in terms of a question that was asked to me. Do you think you could really run a city? And I said, well, and this is a male that had asked me the question. And my answer and my reply, well, such is life. Life is about resource management. There's parts of my life that need immediate fix. There's other parts of my life that are running perfectly. And then there's that third part of your life that needs something new. So that is the reason why I'm running for mayor, and why it's not so much me running a city, it's a team that runs a city. There's a team that has to flow and to move and to keep these lanes flowing. So that goes into my background. I have to kind of start, because if anybody knows anything about tactile design, it takes you to a straight line, but you go here, you go there, you go up. And that's pretty much like my life. I put a lot of things on hold. I married my wonderful husband, Mr. Henry William Harris Jr., who is a pastor, and he's a truck driver. So my background, I have a degree, an associate's degree, and as like candidate Tina Burnell, I'm the first one that had graduated in my family with an associate's degree in design, which I always wanted to achieve, becoming an architect. But didn't do that. So then I moved on, and in life I just decided that there were some things that I saw through my stepdad's life. He's a stark Republican. He always talks about conservative issues and things like that. And he taught me a lot. And with that, he's also a veteran who's disabled, has dementia, things like that. So at some point, my mom was still working, and I took on the role of taking him to the VA, helping him out, get him to his appointments. And what I found was there were several people who needed help, just navigating through the system. So moving forward, I decided to develop an organization, which is community grassroots, called Fox Advocates. Pun the name, I lived on a street called Foxhaven Trail in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So I called it Fox Advocates because that was the first home-based business that I developed to help navigate veterans, their caregivers, people that just needed everyday information and get to the root of it all in their lives. So it channeled me so many places. I also have background in ministry, management, in terms of preparing missionary trips, also coordinating pastoral dinners, things like that. But the biggest part of that management was running Fox Advocates, managing community people, pulling people together, families together, coordinating those efforts to get those resources to people. So that's the biggest thing about the run for mayor. It's about resources and navigating these resources to those that need them, managing them, and stewardship. I believe that the city needs a new foundation of stewardship. There's so many areas in the city that are sinking. And then also, just the last part of my life, being here in Louisville. What I loved about Louisville, a god sister of mine, we were connecting on business, and we decided to move here. Sorry, I ran over time. I apologize. I didn't see the sign. Thank you.
Lisa Marie Harris. The order in the next session, this next question is Tina, Bob, Lisa Marie, and then Jeff. All right, this one is fairly straightforward. What's something that you love about the city of Louisville, and what are some issues with the city of Louisville? Don't focus on the solutions. That's going to be the third question. Basically, what's your platform and what is it that you want to change about the city? Just tell me something that you love about the city. Like, why do you care enough that you want to become mayor of this city? And then talk about some of what you consider some of the biggest issues that the city is facing, and if we don't change direction, things are going to go worse. Okay, so let me turn it over to Tina Burnell.
I have to step around the wire there. So I'm not just doing a dance for you all. There's a wire here in my leg. What I love about Louisville, I was born and raised in Louisville. What I love most about Louisville is the heart of the people that live here. I have seen over and over and over how people will go out of their way to help others, to be a good neighbor, to serve without wanting recognition or pay. And I think that the heart of the people in this city is the thing that I love most. What I would like to work on, or what concerns me the most about what's going on in our city, is there is obvious corruption. There is bid rigging going on to ensure favored developers are getting deals and projects. There is taxpayer money being exploited, taxpayer-owned property being exploited. And I think, and another big issue we have is the culture of city government. We have a city government that says they promote integrity and honesty, but if you have paid any attention to the news and the numerous lawsuits that have been filed, including one against me, this city does not value truth-telling. They do not value integrity. And that is problematic for all of us, because when our city employees cannot work in an environment where they're valued for being honest and hardworking and wanting to do the right thing, that affects the service we all get. That is a big issue for me. And hopefully you're going to see a piece about that in the Courier-Journal here soon. But those are some of the biggest issues I see. And these are the things that affect us, that flow down. So what we got is the benefits going up and all the effects coming down to us. And that's not acceptable to me.
Thank you, Tina. Same question to Bob.
What I love about the city is that we build relationships from the west end to the east end to the south end. And a good example is the Jesus Movement with Wanda McIntyre. I've been with them for over 10 years on the west end. And we share a lot of different things. Together we want the best for Louisville. But our hearts break because the crime is at triple digits. We're talking about nothing has changed from top down, okay? And we need to get that changed, and the only way to do that, and I'll give you the answers from the bottom up. We need transparency, public trust. We can't trust the current administration on what they say with their mouth and when they say in their actions. We need public results versus messaging. And they're saying, oh, we're winning the crime rate. And we've been down by 15%. But if you really look at the facts, it's still triple digits no matter what. Priority and neighborhood investments. And we're going to talk about it in just a minute. And I think the investments are in the wrong direction, throwing everything downtown, try to build new high-rise, new apartments, new motel hotels, but they forget about the rest of the county. And when I answer those questions that come up here, I will share that with you. But the point of the matter is that I'm here to serve you. I'm a servant leader. And God is in my life. My relationships is with Him. And if I stand by myself, He's going to be always there no matter what. But the point of the matter is that we are the four horsemen of opportunity. Each and every one of us can make a difference. Whoever wins the 19th, the top two in the May 19th, will be the ones we need to focus on. But here we are, sharing our lives, sharing our opportunities, sharing our goals, sharing our expectations. And that's where I'm at. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Next up is Lisa Marie Harris.
Thank you.
Issues, right?
What do you love about the city?
Mm-hmm.
And what are some bad things that are going on in the city that you want to address? But we'll talk about how you want to address them next time.
Thank you. So thank you for repeating that. What I love about the city is the lanes and how they flow. There's a lot of good things that are happening within this city, a lot of bright initiatives. You have nonprofits that are doing really great work. You know, I'm in Portland, and I love that area because they are really hardworking people people that are presenting themselves to want change. And not just arguments, not just pointing fingers, just really want to get change in the city. And I'm not just talking about within the people, but also within the infrastructure. There are programs and there are also developments that people have sat in meetings for and really want these resources navigated over into Portland to take care of the gateway per se. You know, with that entry point on 22nd Street, like change those things. And then one of the issues, forgive me, the issue for me and what really challenged my personality to run is this Democrat socialist agenda. I apologize. Forgive me.
That's a major issue.
Okay. Forgive me. But there's agendas in this city that Louisville does not need. It's not a benefit to us. It takes away from the city. The city can be a light to other cities and a blueprint to other cities in terms of how we flow, how we resource, how we take care of our people, how money is managed. Ultimately, that's mainly all of us.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you. Keep in mind, these are probably the first forums that anyone's done, so they'll slip up and mention parties and all that.
Very true, very true.
Okay, the final person that's going to answer this question is Jeff Yocum. I do want to say the order for the next round will be this direction. So Lisa, Tina, Bob, and Jeff. And that question is going to be, again, about how are you going to address these? What's your platform? Okay, so Jeff, you'll be the last one addressing this question, which is what's something that you love about the city, and what are some issues with the city that you want to try to address as mayor to improve, that we don't keep sliding down in the things that are going wrong in the city. Okay, Jeff.
All right, if y'all want to know what I love about this city, it's my home. And a lot of us are born and raised here in Louisville, and we have good leaders here in Louisville, but that's not the people that are getting into the positions of power. If you look at Mayor Craig Greenberg and the new AI, they just pull people in from whatever and they throw them checks, 6-figure salaries, just here you are, hey, take it. Nobody else needs it. This is your money, this is your tax dollars, it's getting old. And the thing is, here's the truth. I am a servant, I've been a servant, I'm a proven servant. I'm not a celebrity, and I'm not here to be a celebrity, and this will probably win me a lot of votes. You're not going to catch me out there running 5K marathons when this city is hurting, when there's people struggling all over. You know what I mean? This is your home too, and you have to choose. And if you all feel that Craig Greenberg is doing a good job, he was invited here tonight. Where is he? What's more important than your voices? It might be a small group. Where's WLKY? Where's all the news agencies? They do not care. But this is historic to me, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you that showed up. This is the first in Louisville's history nonpartisan race. What are the problems? This is so simple. Like, I don't have enough time. You're going to have to give me about 9 of those 30-second cards. But no, honestly, the drugs are running rampant. Anybody want to do some heroin? Come on with me downtown, and I'll get you a brand new needle from the Needle Exchange Program. Day one, that is gone. That is done. LMPD's out here. They can't even do their job. Did you know they can't even speak half the time freely about what they want to say while they wear that uniform? That even transitions over to your EMT and your paramedics. That is old. That has got to stop. We have got to get our LMPD and our communities to build trust and get back together. And here's the sad thing. The criminals have got to go that are pushing the dope. If you want to know my friends and my history, there are more dead than there are alive. It's easier for me to show you who's alive in my yearbook than it is to show you the ones that are gone. The only reason I'm still here for you guys is because a friend of mine overdosed at youth. I promised his mother I would never do drugs. I held it, you know. That I was lucky. And then I had to see a friend die right in front of me, murdered. And I made a choice to leave and become a man through the United States military, and it saved my life. And what they gave me, I'm ready to give to the city of Louisville in service. And if you all want me to serve you, it would be my honor. But if Craig Greenberg gets reelected, me and my family are out of here. But I'm standing up for the 300,000 plus people in this city that do not have that option. Everybody can't get away. They need help. They want fair representation. They want transparency. And I promise you, if not me, it's sitting right here in this room. Like you said, the 4 horsemen.
Thank you. The next question is, what is your platform? You talked in the last the last question about what are some of the issues that are facing the city. You're running for mayor. What is it what's your plan to fix it? What are you proposing to do in order to fix the issues that are happening in the city? If everything were going perfectly, people are just going to stick with the incumbent. Okay, again, the order will be Lisa, Tina, Bob, and Jeff. Lisa Marie Harris.
Thank you. Well, it's amazing how that word "fix it" is penetrated the atmosphere, because that's definitely who I am. Lisa wants to fix it. And what it is I want to fix is these covenants of convenience, these compromises, these hugs and handshakes that happen within government. People that sit by and watch certain parts of our government, city government, be a part of things that are happening, like protests and on the front lines, and you see them and then they want to say, why do they wear masks and we can't, and all these things. These are the things that I want to venerate, meaning I want to suck these things dry. I believe I'm that person, or the one that can be chosen to do so, and to be able to speak to those issues of these covenants of convenience, meaning those yeses when you meant to say no. And then if a person or a particular candidate wins, who's to say they won't disclose information about you? Because if a particular candidate gets in office, trust me, it's all about these covenants of convenience, meaning compromise, deep compromise. There's no way that this city can be on the brink of a breakdown when we need to build it back up. I really can't remove myself from, the protests, the things that are happening, the communism that's being fostered into this city that nobody even understands. You're talking about elders, you're talking about seniors, you're talking about people that get off TARC buses in the middle of these events and have no idea why they're in this event, and then you're putting people on the line. You're putting people on the front lines. How is it that schools, how is it that children are out here protesting? How is that? And who made that happen? Where are they leading children to? That was the biggest thing that I saw on Friday. I mean, it's alignment. They're aligning themselves to use your children as dangling golden objects. So that way, if you go home to Middletown and you want to tell your child or give them this authority and tell them about themselves, oh no, I can go hang out down the road with Johnny because his school gets to protest. Thank you. It's Lisa for Louisville.
All right, next up, again, the question is, what is your platform? What is it that you're proposing to do if you are elected mayor in order to fix some of the problems that are going on in the city? Tina Burnell.
Hello. Well, I'm going to use my notes on this one because my list is long. Right? Some of the things that I want to focus on, I say that lightly, but it truly is, a comprehensive list of things that I've been paying attention to and areas where I think we need to work. Responsible and community-driven development. I don't think anybody in this room has not been impacted by the unrestrained development that has been going on and has escalated under Greenberg. You all know about the $6 million lawsuit settlement with a particular developer. They also got $60,000 in interest on that deal. And just weeks later, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and the mayor celebrated and honored those folks and posted pictures online. It's like a spit in the face to the public. And if you didn't see it today, they held a meeting about Dosker Manor, and I want you to go watch that because I want you to listen to that developer's words and what he says about the conversations he had with Mayor before he took office. It was very telling. So, unrestrained development, transparency and accountability in government, quality, affordable housing with strong oversight. Greenberg has advocated for affordable housing. That word is all kinds of convoluted in meaning, but it is used because it gets projects pushed through and it gets funding. And so I found there's very little oversight. There's little oversight on the developments themselves, very little oversight for the tenants who end up living in these homes. And I think you got to pay attention to both if you want to be, if you don't want to be disingenuous. Empowering residents and building stronger neighborhoods. This again kind of goes back to development. I don't know how much you've been paying attention, but they are working overtime to push the public out of this process. They want us to just shut up, mind your business, let them build where and what they want. Fighting for needed infrastructure improvements. Again, the unrestrained development has outpaced the infrastructure investment in this city. Safer streets, connected communities. I don't know about you, but very often when I go out, I feel like my head has to be on a swivel. Am I going to get carjacked? Is somebody going to come in this store and make a scene? You never know what's going to happen these days, and if the police are going to be able to show up on time and what constraints they're under. Growing civic engagement. That is something I'm so passionate about because it is not only our privilege, it is our responsibility to keep an eye on our government and make sure they are working in our interest, and it's not happening.
Thank you, Tina. All right, next up we have Bob DeVore.
I'm going to do a quick quote. It's from Sean Farron, the president of UAW. He says this: "We need to elect working class people to solve working class problems." My vision is to have a bottom-up approach where we have ordinary people taking their neighborhoods back, one block at a time, one street at a time. They give them a voice of what's really happening. Having public trust, build it with a bottom-up approach. We can take that and focus on what is best for every neighborhood combined together. Supporting law enforcement, LMPD and ICE. Each have their separate points. When it comes to supporting the Metro Louisville Police, we must fight for them. We must have approval when it comes to secondary employment, moonlighting, which is okay. I mean, you look at the Courier Journal talking about that, and what our chief police is saying. He wants to ban that, but we're doing this for years. You see him at Walmart, you see him at Sam's, you see him at Kmart, Kroger's, you see him at the State Fair. There's nothing wrong for them to have extra money as long as they're not hurting their opportunity to serve. And we need to give them that opportunity to do so. Education. Get back to the basics of reading, writing, and math. I will support that. I will encourage the superintendent that he needs to go the right direction. And they're almost like $180 million of where in the hole, a black hole, it's gone to. And it needs to be brought up and find out why is it gone. When it comes to school policies and accountability, we need to focus on they don't protest during the school period. They need to focus on what is in front of them and learn the basics, including trade school. Immigration the same way. But the bottom-up approach is what we need to focus on. Core values, family, faith, and community and freedom. More accountability, more opportunity, more unity. The closing message: Louisville can do better. Together we can do more. But we got to work with what we have through working class and the right leadership. And I'm here to serve in that banner. Thank you very much.
All right, and last but not least, let's have Jeff Yocum.
You're gonna have to hit me with it again in your question. Go ahead.
The question is, what is your platform? With the issues that are happening in the city, what is it that you want to do in order to fix some of the problems that we're having right now?
All right, I'll just be honest with you guys. I got 4 kids in JCPS, you know what I mean? And that's a hot topic. But guess what? That don't fall under the mayor. That falls under the superintendent. But I'd like to ask hard questions, and I'm going to give you all one. How did Dr. Yearwood become our superintendent with only 9% support? Over 75% of your principals in JCPS did not support him. I speak to them all the time. Guess what? I mean, I've got so many topics that, you know, it's limited on time, and I'm trying to be very respectful and direct. But 41 out of 53 schools in the state of Kentucky that are failing in the bottom 5%, that are called CSI status, they need help. We have 170 plus school districts in Kentucky. How many of them are right here in Louisville? 41 in one district, 41. Our kids are the future. We have to fix this problem with our education system, and the parents out there all over Louisville have had enough. You know what I mean? But that would be very deep and important to me, because how is the school system not a key to the city? You know what I mean? That's the foundation. I mean, I think everyone agrees on that. We must protect our kids, get them educated, and what's going on right now is unacceptable. It just truly is. But, oh my goodness, you asked me the problems of Louisville. Well, I'll tell you this. Our leaders, they're celebrities. Would you rather have a servant, or would you rather have a celebrity? You know what I mean? I think everybody's aware. And that's the thing. You have to stand up and fight. You can't just sit around and, oh, he's got it in the bag. Greg Greenberg must be challenged, and he is more powerful than people give, you know, and I'm an honest person. He's a genius. He truly is. I know his entire background, and I'm not going to talk about him because he's not here, you know, but I look forward to the debate, and I hope to see you soon, my friend. But I don't know where else to go with this. I don't want to waste time. I like to stay direct, but thank you all, and I want to thank Dr. Lance Pearson. You're a good man. I want to thank the Louisville Tea Party, and I want to thank my fellow candidates here. They're wonderful people. They really are. And if you get to know them, and my pastor showed up, and it's so good to see you, and I can't wait to talk to you, but I love you all, and I am in this for the right reasons, along with those that sit beside me now. Thank you all for the time, and it's a true honor.
All right. The candidates were given a heads up about all those questions. For the rest of the time, these are totally unscripted. They don't know these questions are coming. Some of them might be quite difficult, and we've got a few questions. I'm not going to get to all of these from the crowd. And so the format for this is I'm going to have two candidates address the question, so we don't just have a lot of dittos. So the candidates that are going to address this first question are Jeff Yocum and Tina Burnell. So we'll start with Jeff. The question is generally about crime and guns in the city. What specific measures would you implement to address Louisville's ongoing issues with gun violence and crime rates, while also trying to maintain a balance of protecting the Second Amendment? So what proposals would you have to try to reduce crime and gun violence in the city while also protecting the Second Amendment? What ideas do you have? Jeff. Oh. Let's try to keep this to about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Quick answers, but try to be, try to address the topic.
I like this one. I'm glad I got it, to be honest with you, because actually I just I endured this. A lot of people that know me, I will show up anywhere in this city, and I'm unafraid. I tell the truth, and that gives me my strength. I just spoke up for Dustin McElroy and Madden Firearms at Assumption against a room full of probably 300 plus people that absolutely did not want to hear what I have to say. I stand for the Constitution and the Second Amendment. That is your God-given right. It must be protected, right? And LMPD, they are not evil, and that's the thing. We have to bridge this gap between the community and our police officers, because I know so many of these police officers. I truly respect them. I have so much respect for them that in the military, at least I knew who my enemy was. You know what I mean? These LMPD officers are out here, they can walk up on a vehicle and they don't go home. And that's got to stop. We can fix these problems if we all come together. And that's it, brother. That's the truth, and it'll set you free.
All right. Tina, same general question. How do we deal with guns and the crime problem that we have in Louisville while also trying to respect the Second Amendment?
I think I could just echo what Jeff said, and that would be sufficient, but I do support the Constitution. My father committed suicide by taking a gunshot wound to his chest. He loved guns. He had the right to own guns. He had the right to misuse guns, but that was his right. So I support gun ownership, and I actually had a conversation with my teenage daughter about this today. We can make all the laws in the world, but it's not the law-abiding citizens that we have to worry about. Right. So the criminals aren't going to worry about your laws and what you wrote down on paper and what got an applause at the last legislative meeting. So, again, what Jeff said. I volunteered with LMPD for 7 years. I got a presidential award for my volunteer service there. I support them. I know that we have good people in the department who want to do well. And I think that is their area of expertise, fighting crime, coming up with ideals to fight crime. And we have to support them and back them, give them the resources they need to do their job.
All right, thank you. All right, the next question is going to go first to Lisa Marie and then to Bob. This one is addressing economic development. Okay. What steps would you take to promote economic development and job creation in underserved areas of the city like West Louisville or the South End? What are some ideas that you have, whether it be deregulation, those sorts of things? All right. Lisa Marie Harris.
Great, thank you. When it comes to economic development, when I think about that, it's definitely about enhancing what we currently have when we're talking about economics and when we're talking about driving finances or resources into a community. One is these modernization of policies that strengthen our educational system, skilled trades. That's key, and that's really critical in this season, especially when we're moving into a place of almost becoming a smart city. And you're talking data centers and things like that. So economic development to me is developing the people stronger, getting them more involved in their education and those models. Also, because this is something we are dealing with right now when we're talking about business, because it deals also with the investments and attracting people who would support developing new initiatives for not just in low income areas, but the urban, the suburban core. Keeping those flows happening, keeping people invested in their business, and building initiatives for small business owners, such as myself. I'm an entrepreneur, so making incentives for that. You know, I'll be doing a layout, and I didn't do too much on my platform because it was going to copy or ditto the next person, but there's a blueprint for economic development that I'm looking and having meetings with other mayors and those that are running out of state for races, and we're talking about this initiative definitely with those that want to be small business owners. So when you have places like Humana, that Humana building, where that could have been a whole nother type of development instead of a hotel. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob, the same thing. What things would you do to encourage economic development, and especially how do we increase the economic opportunities in underserved parts of the city like the West End or the South End? So Bob.
First off, you got to take care of the basic foundation. You got to find a way to have the community safe. You got to look at crime and we have to attack it. And the best way to do that is you create neighborhood watches and hire 300 more police officers before you do anything. And then you got 3,000 abandoned homes in the West End. Why couldn't we take the $7 million they're getting ready to invest down at the riverfront and put that into abandoned homes, flip those homes, and then have development and have investments with people that want to own their homes, and then do that. And then you flip the south side and you create a economic zone where people can thrive through that. Now, what are you going to do? You're setting up an opportunity for success. And you're talking at San Francisco, you're looking at New York City, and they're leaving out of there like groves, like herds of cattle. And guess what we can do? We can welcome them with open arms and say, hey, small businesses are coming down the West End. We want to help you restore your opportunity to serve in the West End. Why not have a grocery store down there from New York City, and they want to have fresh fruit? Come on down from New York City. Come down to California. But what are you doing now? You're investing in the economics with the businesses already there. They're sick and tired of paying for burden, high-rise taxes and regulations in California, and you got gas at $12 a gallon. And common sense tells you, hey, why not go ahead and come down to Louisville, Kentucky, when you pay for less than $2.75 a gallon? I could take care of my family and be able to run a business and focus on what we can do to make Louisville great. And that's where we're at. We're more with DeVore and focus on what can we not do today, but what we can do for tomorrow. You have to take care of the foundation first. And that has to do with safety and security, where a child can walk out to the bus stop and not worry about they're going to get shot. If you can't take care of that, where we're going to go. Thank you.
All right, thank you. This next question is for Tina first and then Lisa Marie. What would be your approach to the city's budget and taxes, including any proposals you might have to reduce property taxes or occupational taxes / payroll taxes in the city of Louisville in order to attract businesses and residents? All right, Tina.
I'm going to be honest, this is not something I have a specific plan for. I think as some of the other candidates have already alluded to, the mayor is one person. We have a team of people that run this city, including an economic development team. So my goal would be to get in office, to have conversations with some of these people who have been experts in this field for years, and pulling from them and taking their ideals and their suggestions to see what they may have. As we talked a little bit earlier about the culture in the city government, I think, again, if we foster a culture where hard work and ethics are valued, we have a lot of talented people who have a lot to offer and a lot to give. So that would be my strategy going in.
Okay. And I assume everyone up here would love to lower taxes, but how do you actually do that? All right, Lisa Marie, let me repeat the question. What would be your approach to managing the city's budget and taxes, including any proposals that you might have to reduce property taxes or payroll / occupational taxes to make Louisville more attractive to business and to residents that want to move in? All right, Lisa Marie.
Thank you.
And I didn't want to pass on the question. That's my husband's area of finance. And the major thing that we talk about with that, tax and regulatory reform, coming in, like you said, lowering taxes, that's everyone's dream. However, tax incentives can be the real good base for businesses, new businesses that are coming in. Especially in the climate that we're in right now, we can offer more attractive business opportunity, especially for home-based businesses. What I come to find out through commission meetings and things like that, zoning and planning is really hard. So a lot of people have decided to become entrepreneurs and start business at home or on their properties and things like that. So building that type of base for future opportunity, I would say, can stimulate that system of taxes. That's about the best or the base level that I can offer as an answer. Thank you.
All right. The next we'll go with Bob and Jeff for this next question. How would you tackle affordable housing shortages and homelessness in Louisville, including your views on projects like Community Care Campus and the balancing development with property rights and neighborhood concerns? So how do we get more affordable housing and try to address some of the homelessness problems that we have in the city? Bob or Jeff, either one.
You go ahead, Jeff. Can we go first?
Okay.
This is funny. I love all the questions. I'm having a good time tonight. And I'll just go ahead and tell y'all something. A lot of people don't know about this state. We are very dependent on the federal government. Over $20 billion annually. And the money comes here. And the thing is, they use manipulation, whether it's Craig Greenberg's field, which is in the past, new market tax credits, or TIF. And you watch the Humana building going up right now with him and Steve Poe, and sits on the board of LIDA. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? That it's the inner circle of friends, and that's why they're telling us up here that he cannot be defeated, because he has a powerful list of allies. What do you all want? Now, this is a true question. Do you all want a mayor, or do you want a CEO, a lawyer, a president? What do you want? You know what I mean? Because he is all of these other things. He's a man of many hats. I think that pay for the mayor's office is sufficient for one person to do one job and represent the people of this city. What business do you have tied up with the law firms and the construction groups and this and that? It's got to stop, but that's where your tax money is going. And I'll tell you all this, and this is factual. Anywhere people suffer in this country, wherever they are hurting and struggling and don't have a chance, the leadership will cry, we need money, we need tax dollars, we need this and that, but it never ends up in the right place. For example, you said the housing, so they set up, here you go, you got 116 Section 8 voucher apartments. People are becoming more comfortable living on their knees than they are standing on their feet. And it has to stop, and they have to learn the truth. That's why we are losing the cities the way we are, and it has to stop. It truly does. And I have so much more on this topic, but I'm going to be courteous for the time, and thank you once again for the question.
Thank you. Again, for Bob, how would you tackle the affordable housing shortage and homelessness in the city of Louisville, including your views on projects like Community Care Campus and balancing the development of property and neighborhood concerns with maybe low-cost housing or affordable housing?
I am not afraid to go to Frankfurt. I think we should put a cap on apartment rent. It's sky high. My sister is going to be jacked up another $100 a month. That's crazy. We have to have a level of understanding, but I can't do that by myself. But I will fight for Louisville. I will fight for them in Frankfurt. I will even go to the Washington, D.C. I don't really care. But the point of the matter is that we have to have a control pricing for rent. And then the abandoned homes, they can be flipped again. And then we can give them 2% on our own. We can invest on our own. We can take $10 a month from every person and put it into a private fund and flip it. Now the homeless we have not tackled yet. It's utopia idea is to give them a nice place to live. But we gotta get the heart of the problem. Homeless starts here, finding out why they're there in the first place. If it's drugs addiction, if it's alcohol addiction. I went to a place yesterday, and I can't really tell you what it was. We celebrated Super Bowl. I listened to them. They gave the verses. They gave something. It was opportunity. We heard witnesses from alcoholics saying that they thank God that they've been alcoholic free for like 16 months. But the point of the matter is this: if you can't get to the heart and soul of why they're out there in the homeless, then giving them a home is not going to do a bit of good. You got to focus on what is inside them, give them the tools to be successful. Even when it comes to trade schools, if they need to get a job, why not go ahead and train them in that job? If you want to really help drug addiction, why not give them the services that get them off the drug addiction to where they can focus on what is best for themselves and their families. We cannot do this unless we do it all together at the foundation of the bottom-up approach, where we all can focus on, because right now we don't have a voice. And when Mayor Greensburg looks at us, he looks at us as numbers. And we need to get back to what we need to do and focus on what is best for Louisville. Thank you.
All right, the last set of questions in this this structured part, we're going to have each of the candidates have one more question for each pair. This one will be for Bob and then Tina. Given the challenges facing Jefferson County Public Schools, such as performance gaps, funding issues, etc., do you support initiatives like school choice, charter schools, vouchers to improve educational outcomes for Louisville families, understanding that we have to get the legislation from higher up in order to get those things? So what is your view on ways to fix Jefferson County Public Schools, and what is your view on promoting school choice? Bob?
There is a House bill out there that's really radical. They want to take the responsibility from the superintendent and the school board and put it into the mayor's hands and delegate that idea. Now it's just an idea, but we need to look at it as a possibility. That's all it is. But the point of the matter is that it's not working now. When you have 60% reading, when you have 15% math, are they really focusing on what is best for those children? And this is where we have a discussion inside the community to find out what is best for that child. And when it comes to homeschooling, when it comes to private schooling, we got to make sure we have enough money in each parent's hands. Let them have control of what's going on. Let the money follow the child instead of the money following the school system. They're averaging $16,000 per pupil. Really? It's not going to work unless we have more parental participation. We have more when it comes to basing up leadership and servicehood. We need to have a voice in this point. We need to have a voice when it comes to saying, this is my child, I want the best for this child, and I want him to graduate with honors and be able to read and be able to file an application. They can't do that these days. They have to have help. They have the AI to fill out the application from UPS. So we got to give them the tools to be successful. In doing that, we have a chance to be successful when it comes to the city and the future.
All right, thank you, Bob. Same question to Tina. Given the challenges facing Jefferson County Public Schools, which include things like performance gaps and funding issues, a budget that fell short by, I think, $184 million last year, what do you propose in order to help improve the quality of Jefferson County Public Schools, the management of Jefferson County Public Schools, and what's your position on things like promoting school choice, charter schools, vouchers, if that becomes an option?
Again, I share a lot of the same sentiments as Mr. DeVore here. I support school choice. I support vouchers. I believe that parents should have whatever options are available to them, especially when the other option is a failing school system. We have kids graduating, getting diplomas, and celebrating when they cannot read, they cannot write, and they cannot give change. That is simply unacceptable. And there's no accountability for these kids. They go through the system, they're glad to be out. They don't realize what a devastating impact that is going to have on their lives, and that is so unfair. As mayor, you know, the city and the school system are two different entities. So there's that. I mean, the mayor can kind of push and advocate and speak your opinion, but as far as actually being able to do anything other than advocate for those changes, you don't have a lot of power. And so I want to be very honest about that, and I hope people understand that. They are two different entities. I do think the school board has been selected by the teachers union for years, and I think that's a large part of the problem. I know somebody who served on the school board. They recruited him. He was their candidate, and once he got on there, they realized their chosen candidate was actually going to do his job. And he would read the books, and he would tell me about the stacks of materials they would get just an hour before the board meeting. So they didn't really expect them to do their job. And you can be sure they advocated for him to be out the very next time the election came around. So there has to be accountability, and so much of that has to come from the parents, because we have to fight for these kids. They deserve an education, and they deserve to walk away with a diploma that has true value.
Okay. This might be a little bit of a softball. I apologize. How do you plan to support traditional family values and parental rights in city policies? Do you have any ideas with regard to that? What are your views on things like gender ideology infiltrating schools or libraries? And do you think that's an acceptable use of taxpayer dollars promoting such ideologies? So talk about the influence of gender ideology in schools, etc., but also what policies would you have to promote young families and traditional family values and getting more people having more kids and more successful young families? All right, Lisa.
Perfect question. Faith. It's really, really, really time for faith-based organizations and fellowships to get involved in this situation when it comes to education and transgender, this ideology, which it is. It's just this idea. What I find is that children get into a place of rebellion and they're trying to figure things out. And so if they're inappropriately touched, they trail off into this life and believing that this is who I am. This is how I was born. And those things. And I believe it's the responsibility, and the plan that I would implement is definitely what I want to do is to go into fellowships and assist with this language and how to disseminate and travel through this ideology is broken homes. You understand me? It's getting to the root of it all. You're talking about abandonment issues. You're talking about what I want to say. You're talking about abandonment, abuse. The misuse and the mispurposing of your body and your anatomy. These are the things that need to be talked about at home, as opposed to sitting a child in the corner with a computer, with just sitting them off to themselves, or even adults, young adults, teenagers that are struggling with it. Have that conversation. Ask them why. What happened? Is it go deeper? And a lot of times people are dealing with shame. So to implement programming that would help to develop them in such a way that to let them know they don't have shame in their lives. But it's definitely all about the church. It's about the faith. Duties is ours, right? Duty is ours. Duty is ours.
All right. Jeff, same question. What would you do to support traditional family values, parental rights, and young family formation in the city? Basically, is there anything that the government can do in terms of policy in order to promote young families? And then what's your view on things like the infiltration of gender ideology into the schools and libraries and crazy shows and that kind of stuff? All right. Jeff.
Well, y'all are going to love this one, I guess. So I guess, these are from the audience, correct? This is good, because here, I'll teach y'all something. Dr. Yearwood's up here. He's your superintendent. Well, that's why he left Missouri, because he let kids go to a drag show. Oh, yeah, you took over $600,000 in a settlement, and it's under an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. But know what? Guess what? Nobody wants to ask these tough questions or do the research in it. But I'll tell you this. Here's my belief. If people want to be something in their life, look, I did a prayer to get into this race. Like, what am I going to do with my life? So the opportunity stepped forward. It came forward, so I took it, right? I am a Christian in faith. The thing that keeps jumping out of the Bible to me is Luke 11:52. Woe unto you lawyers, every position of power. That's lawyers in this city. They've got it all locked up. And it's very hard to do this. But the truth is, education needs to come first. And that's not what we have nowadays. It's not. Why are we teaching kids to protest? Aren't they there for an education? Isn't that what the tax money is to go toward? Is that what you are not paying your property taxes for? Or, and the other thing is, I hate to say it, but I will, but the LGBT community, I don't have a problem with them. I'm not a pastor. I'm a soldier. When you pray for God to use you, he will use you in whatever form you come. Well, I'm a soldier, so I'm not going to sit here and try and thump the Bible or do any of that, but I have my belief and I'm going to stand on them. But this whole thing that a boy can be a girl or a girl can be, no. You are born the way God made you. And that this is the truth of it. You know what I mean? You have to start teaching factual things in school. I mean, there's not really much more to say about that. Educate our kids. And, the people that want to say he's wrong, look at the 41 schools that need help in Jefferson County alone. It's sad. 41 out of 53. Well, let's come together. And the path of unity is difficult. The path of division is simple. You know what I mean? And trying to bring everyone together, it's difficult. But the LGBT community, they told me they have been hijacked by LGBTQT+. There is division in that community. So try to unify people and bring everyone together. And the truth, you put a light, you can't snuff it out, Expose the truth and things can get better. But people would rather be divisive nowadays. And we need to change it. Stand for unity. Give it a chance. You'll see.
Okay, some of those were quite tough, and again, those were all off the cuff. They didn't know that was coming, and I thought they all did an excellent job. All right, the last segment, our audience questions, where we are. I'm basically have got these just randomly sorted. Whichever question pops up for which person, go ahead and answer it. You got a minute and a half. We'll say a max cap of a minute and a half to answer this. Don't feel like you have to fill up that time if you feel it's a yes or no question. Okay, we'll just start going this way, and then we'll mix it up on the second time through. All right. First question. How would you deal with the Louisville Community Consent Decree? How would you deal with the Louisville Community Consent Decree? Jeff Yocum.
And I'm going to be honest as well. This is one that I am not familiar with yet. So whoever threw the question, good question. But if I may, just to fill the air.
I think it's law enforcement related, right?
Yes.
Yep. It's basically
It's a federal standardization of federal standards for the police department.
Yes.
Yep.
They want to adhere to it.
How do you feel about accepting the federal government's rules for the Louisville Metro Police Department? How should we fix the Louisville Metro Police Department?
Well, here's my simple solution. I've spoken to over 200 officers, some of them ranked major and up. They are very good people in this city that want to serve their community, but it's kind of hard to do when your hands are tied behind your back. Would y'all not agree on that? Yeah. So I'm going to tell you all this is what I would do. Day one, the Inspector General's office will be gone.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, he just threw himself under the bus. He's done. He's not going to win the election. No, I am pro-America. I love my flag. I love our communities. I love our people. And LMPD is a big part of it, and we need them. These people that hate the police, let somebody bother them in any way, shape, and form. You can park sideways in some parts of the town, and you're going to get towed. They're going to call the police. Call the police. Call the police. But then they want to hate the police. We need the police, and we need to build this bond with the community. But anything that supports LMPD, I am truly in support of, and the Inspector General's office will be gone day one. Day one.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And again, this is just random. Bob DeVore, as mayor of Louisville, what activities would you expect to belong in a typical day in your life? What would you do as mayor? What would your typical day look like?
My typical day would be is I wake up in the morning, thank God that I'm still alive, look at verses that can apply to my life, go to the office, look at the priorities, set the goals, set the expectations, have the deputy mayors have more authority to do their job, not just myself. I can't do it by myself. We got to do it together. Build connections with that. And then I'm going to do about 35, 40 hours a week at the office, and then do about 30 hours into the community where I can go out there and talk to people and can make connections and focus on what is best for Louisville. If we're going to be that great city that we can be on the hill and have great expectations on having a NCAA tournament, even have the Olympics would be awesome. But you got to be an opportunity for me to be the servant leader. I'm the last of the totem pole. I want the citizens to be up front. They're the ones that are going to be the ones we're going to be recognizing, and they're the ones who are going to help with communicating what their expectations are. We've got to come together. We're going to focus on what is best for Louisville, even when it comes to neighborhoods, taking them back, get rid of the drug dealers, focus on what police can do, hire 300 more policemen, and have them in the neighborhoods because they want to make connections with them. My day is going to be serving you all and focusing on that. And last but not least, my wife. We have to have quality time with each other because if I don't have quality time, I'm done for. Okay, I'll be in the doghouse. All right, guys?
All right, thank you, Bob. Okay, again, randomized questions. Tina Burnell, what do you think it will take to finally have a viable campaign for mayor where the candidate doesn't come from the traditional power structure of the city?
Tough question.
Yes. Good one. All right, they're up here saying tough question, but I'm going to tell you, I think this is an easy one because this is something I have been, listen, I've got some hard ones that I thought, ooh, but this one, the people have the power. And I have tried to emphasize that through Watchdog, through my campaign. They want you to believe that only the elite, that only the well-funded, that only the people who are power endorsed by power can have these seats. It was never meant to be that way. It was never meant to be that way. That's why the qualifications to run are minimal. That's why they don't say you have to have a degree from Harvard. You have to be an attorney. No, you have to be a person in this community who cares about your community, who wants to do right by your community. And the way it changes is by the people getting to the polls. Your vote has more power than they want you to believe. They can't buy a vote with $1.2 million. They can do a lot of advertising, but word of mouth. Tell your friends about the change. Tell them about the importance of this primary. Because if we're not out in the primary voting, we may have very, very limited choices that don't look good on either front when November comes around. So use the power of the vote.
All right, thank you, Tina. And again, this was randomized, although this question was targeted to Lisa. It just worked out that way. All right. What is your position on the Metro Council members' involvement with socialism? We have an openly socialist Metro Council member. We also have an openly socialist person running in the city of Louisville for the state legislature. What is your position on that? Yeah.
Is that easy one?
Oh yes, oh yes, that's the main one. And as you can hear, the power of one voice. You know, when you look at my platform, it says power one voice. One voice. We're all saying the same thing. But to answer that question, which is a great question, and the reason why I'm running, because Democrat Socialist Agenda America doesn't have a place here. And what caused me to run, I put out a post on Facebook when I saw particular members of council on the front line of a protest downtown Louisville. And I was appalled. And I would believe day one as mayor, any council member found, if you're a member of the council, during your tenure, there's a policy you cannot participate in protests that drains our resources. There could be a woman getting raped across town, and here you are having police officers control an area. It makes no sense, and it's not peaceful. Because when you hear profanity, you have signs, people cussing, things like that, that's not a peaceful process. So this is what I would do. I would implement policies to any member of council or any government member during their tenure. You cannot participate in that. It's not taking away your amendment right or of freedom of speech. It's just that you cover a whole group of people. Thank you.
Okay. The order for this next set of four, and this will be the last set of 4 questions, is Bob, Tina, Lisa, and Jeff. So Bob, having people of the, hang on. Okay. What is your position on the role of judges and the lack of law enforcement in the city of Louisville? And do you have any ideas on how to address that part of the problem? Judges, we just actually had I won't jump on Bob's question. I won't jump on Bob's answer, but we just had...
Won't bother me at all.
We just had a judge that basically cut the sentence on a convicted rapist in half. That just was on the news. So, how much do you think judges are the cause of some of the crime problems that we have in the city, and what are some ideas on how to address that problem?
We have a serious problem with the family judges. And what's happening is that the juvenile system that we don't have is not existent. We have crime out there with the youth. We don't have a place for them to go, and focusing on that is going to help out. But when it comes to judges, I have to, and I will, go to Frankfurt, go to Washington State, and advocate to remove those judges that's not going to be focusing on the Constitution, the value of family, and the value of God in their lives. If they're not going to be there, they're gone. And when it comes to the state, I have to advocate and go forward to Frankfurt and Washington D.C. I will advocate for good, conservative judges that will put family and God first, then build that society up to where that you got to keep these criminals accountable for their actions. You don't cut their thing because she raped a young child down the street. That is just despicable. They need to be forced to where that they're going to serve the whole sentence, no matter what. So judges need to be accountable for their actions. And that's one thing about you all you got to understand is that when it comes to the election of judges, there's not that much information out there. So it's our responsibility to find out what they stand for and why. And that's what we got to do. We could do that as individuals, but we could do it as a city and say, no more with all these leftist judges, you're gone. And put judges in there where put heart, soul, and the citizen first and protect the unborn. Thank you.
All right. Tina, how can you best present, and I'll say, how can you best present a common sense platform in a nonpartisan race? How does the nonpartisan nature of this race now affect these other candidates? And you can even think of this as advice for all of these candidates. What's the best way to present a common sense platform in a nonpartisan race?
One of the things that I would say to that is you've heard a couple of the candidates already tonight talk about service and being a servant. You know, this opportunity, the mayor's position, the Metro Council positions, these are public service positions. Amen. You are there to serve the public. That's your goal. So I would say we all need to be focused on that and understanding that our role and our decisions affect the lives of everybody in this community. And with it being nonpartisan this time around, it's been very frustrating and very confusing and very upsetting for people who are learning about this. Some even think the candidates concocted this to deceive them and to lie to them. So you have a lot of people out there who truly don't even understand that the races have been changed to nonpartisan, don't really understand what that means, and then they're not happy about it once you tell them. I actually have numerous screenshots posted where people have attacked me personally because, you know, why am I not just telling you who I am? But I think that it in the long run, after we get past the initial shock of this change, that it really is a good reminder that no matter what service position you're in, you serve a diverse community.
Amen.
You serve people on all political spectrums with all kinds of different beliefs, and the people, serving the people, have to be the priority.
All right, this next question is for Lisa Marie Harris. What is your stance on the 2017 separation ordinance? Is that the merger, the city-county merger? What is it?
No, that's that deals with the 48-hour detainer on immigration.
All right, well, maybe we got a...
Did he say city ordinance?
City ordinance.
That's the one where the Metro Council have said that the police officers
Have
of
48
Louisville
hours.
Yeah, 48 hours
will not
detainer.
interfere.
with ICE stuff?
ICE immigration,
Okay.
yes.
Courier Journal. hit
Well,
us with
go
that.
ahead and answer whatever question it is that this is asking. All right.
I could hopefully break it up.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, right. I mean, they may have tripped me up on that one. However, that was a question that we were asked through Courier Journal.
That's true.
Right? And the 48-hour detainer sounds good, meaning that, you know, you hold them in custody for that time frame in order for them to get things worked out. But what I find after researching a little more, that 48-hour time limit, things can go wacky.
Yeah.
You understand me? They can get out before the actual charges come down. You understand me? Or that type of thing where they can actually keep them. And my answer to that, and it just deals with immigration. If you're here illegally, you're a criminal.
That's right.
Point blank, period. And it's unfortunate, but you are, because executive branch of government gave opportunity for people to come out with their hands up, self-deport, and go back to your country and come back the right way. So it's a little tricky with that 48-hour detainer thing. It is, and I'm deeply doing my research on it. But immigration, we love our immigrants, of course. But I grew up in a melting pot in New Jersey, and I know that people came and worked hard and came here and did it the right way. So you're just a criminal because you're lying and you're hiding.
All right. Okay, last question in this section, and then right after this, we will give each candidate up to 2 minutes to just close it out. In that section, I'm going to recommend that you give websites if people want to go to donate to your campaign or to find out about your positions and platforms. I'm going to recommend you do that. So the last question in this section before we do that and close this out. What is your position on flock cameras, these license plate trackers that are used to track people's locations throughout the city, and their use and the increased use of police surveillance as a means of addressing crime? There's a trade-off there. So talk about that, Jeff.
It's awesome. I'm getting all the law enforcement questions, huh? But I back the blue 100%. But I also understand your rights as citizens, and you do have your privacy, right? So I would have to, dig deep into it and think about it. But the truth is, you got your privacy. But I do know this, that if the LMPD is using one, they fly it over your property, you shoot it down, you're going to catch a felony. So we're going to have to put policies in place, like if you're going to use one of these devices, it must be used in a pursuit. Or hey, look, and then, whoever's property you're going to trespass on, same as you do on foot. You let the people know what's going on. But spying and things like that, I will never support, because everybody has their rights to privacy and everything else, you know what I mean? But LMPD must function and be able to do their job. And you know what I mean? There's so many good things we can do, and I'm excited. I really am. And these are really good people here, and I look forward to the future. And I just hope we catch the right ears today. I really do. And thank you.
Don't look at my paper.
All right, we're going to close this out with each candidate having up to 2 minutes. Pass the teapot? Okay. While we're doing that, we're going to pass the teapot around. If you can contribute any sorts of funds to keep, the expenses of all the audio equipment and Facebook and all the other things that we have to do, maintaining the website, all those things. Okay, the order here, let's go with Bob, Lisa, Jeff, and Tina. You've got 2 minutes. I would suggest that you basically give people information on how they can find out more about you, but also just close it out. Make your final pitch for why people should get behind your campaign, volunteer, give money, and most importantly, go out to the polls and vote to pick you in this primary. Okay, Bob DeVore.
Starting out with More with DeVore. I've been doing that for a long time. So when they hear that, they're like, okay, I know this dude. But the point of the matter is this. Now, my website is still being developed, and I apologize for that. So you look on the www.morewithdevore.com. As simple as possible. But when it comes down to service, and we've been saying this, we are the 4 horsemen of opportunity. And we got to come together and focus on it, because Greg Fisher is a tough opponent. He's got $2 million in his copper. He's got the millionaires behind him. He's got the hotel owners behind him. Greenberg, yeah. Greenberg, we're talking about, okay? He is involved in other things that we have to really check on when it comes to where is this money going to? The $8 million that went out in one hand and the other money went out in the other hand. But the point of the matter is that now it's time for real accountability. And the best way to start that is you got to start from the bottom up. We got to get folks excited. We got them to understand that they're responsible. If they want a voice, then speak it out. We're going to have committees out there that shows them that you are of value like anybody else. And we start from the bottom up with answers and solutions, because now what are you doing? You're empowering the neighborhoods to take care of their own. They're cleaning their own backyards. Now, even Greg Fisher said, I'm proud of JCPS. I'm proud of the clean streets. But you go out there and you see all this trash going on for the past 3 years. But when you get the individual responsible and say, this is my backyard, I'm going to clean my backyard, I'm going to help my other neighbor and clean their backyards too. So that's contagious. Next thing you know, you have the streets are clean because they're proud of who they are. Green Bay, Wisconsin is a perfect example of cleanness, because they're proud of who they are. So we need to get back to basics of God, family, and community, and focus on what is best. I'm 70 years old. I have more experience when it comes to different variables. So, and I want to use these guys to help promote what's best for Louisville.
All right. Thank you. That was Bob DeVore, morewithdevore.com, and pending. It's coming. A lot of the same problems between Fisher and Greenberg. All right.
That's true.
The next question. I mean the closing remarks. I'm sorry. Next is Lisa Marie Harris. The general topic is tell us why people should vote for you. Make your final pitch. Why should people get out to the polls? Why should they go to your social media? Why should they volunteer to knock doors for you? All of those things. Lisa Marie Harris.
Thank you. Well, thank you again, and I'm so glad that you were staying up and attentive PowerOneVoice.org is the campaign platform. Lisa for Louisville, Kentucky is for mayor. And what that is this is a strategy. What I thought this layout would be a little different. I didn't get the questions in advance. Say again. Oh, sorry. Forgive me. Give my minute back. Give my second back. But nevertheless, this is a strategy. What I see in Louisville, I really do not like. And I understand we can all build together, but there's things through this campaign that I can only address without someone being racist or less than, that type of thing. There's only one opponent in this race that I'm really concerned about that is attached to this Democrat socialist agenda, and that's Ms. Parrish Wright. It's nothing against her personally. However, she has an army behind her. And I know that this face, I may not be the face you want, but I can definitely be the voice. But in this race, I definitely can be the face and voice to disseminate that and venerate it, meaning draft it and drag it out and dry it out. So it's the PowerOneVoice.org. You will go to that website. There is a link, a Venmo link. You can donate. I would definitely love your help. If nothing else, encouragement, pour into this. I'm not looking for any support. Of course, it's already rigged, because how is it that one party can announce and endorse, but another party can't through nonpartisan politics? So that's a scheme and a setup. So that's my focus primarily. While they go after Greenberg, I got to go this way, and I can do that, and I can say that. Okay, so join me in that effort. Like I said, I'll take any, just pour into this. Whether it be green, whether it just be words of encouragement, intel, insight that you know that you would like to see. But this community is on the brink, and that's why I'm running. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Lance.
Thank you. And that's Power of One Voice. Is that
.org.
.org, and is it one or is it?
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
Power of One, the number one.
Power of one voice.org.
And I do have palm cards.
Okay.
If anyone likes.
Lisa Marie Harris.
Thank you.
Next up is Jeff Yocum. Jeff Yocum, tell us your closing argument. Why should people support you? And then make sure that we can get in touch with you if people want to support, do all the things that need to be done to win a mayor's race. Knock doors, raise money, basically just support the candidate that you really are passionate about. Why should that be you, Jeff?
Hey, how you all? This is the closing part, so I'm going to tell you all this. In campaigns and these kind of fights, you got to raise money, correct? And I want you all to support these candidates up here. But me, I'm not taking no money for a campaign. Like, I'm doing this out of my retirement, and it's my last stand for the city of Louisville. You know what I mean? If you don't want change, I have no obligation, and I won't stay here, But I'm standing up, and I'm trying to be a voice for all of you. You know what I mean? This is the truth. And I've got, where are we at? What was it? 22 endorsements currently? And these are not little businesses. Some of them are major. I'm not going to name them here, but you can find more about me. Jeff Yocum on Facebook. I don't have a campaign website because I am so tired of being told, if you want to do this, you got to do that. Put your name on the ballot then and do it your way. You know what I mean? I believe that if you earn the trust of the people, you're an open door policy, and they trust you. Even the people, listen to this, the VFWs in the world and the experience I have, you will never win over everyone. Never. You can't do it. Right? But I can tell you this, if you're honest, they will trust you and they will respect you. And that means everything. But thank you all for having us tonight. I know I'm not last, but I promise you all this. I have one opponent, and that's Mayor Craig Greenberg. And I want to go along with what she just said there, that how is it a non-political race or nonpartisan race? He's got 27 Democrat endorsements. Interesting? Interesting. Which one of these people up here have any kind of Republican support? Where's the endorsements? Why crickets? Because they know the titan that we're up against. And Mayor Craig Greenberg, I know you're entrenched. I know how powerful you truly are. But I promise you there's a shovel up here and it's sitting in one of these four. Watch.
All right, you can find him at Jeff Yocum, that's YOCUM on Facebook. Get in touch with him, message him, and see how you can help out if you want to support his campaign. All right, last but not least, and our final speaker, Tina Burnell. How do we get in touch with you? What is your closing message why should the people in this room and the people that are watching online support your campaign? And remember, and I want to close this. This is a nonpartisan race. The top 2 vote getters will go on to the general election. So it is very important, even if you don't win that primary, it's very important to be in the top 2 so you can move on to the general election and be that alternative choice. All right. So Tina Burnell, will you come up and make your case to the people online and the people in this room?
My website and my Facebook page are both Burnell for Mayor, so I hope that you will find that and follow me, visit the website to learn more about me. I think what makes me uniquely qualified as a candidate is a couple things. One, I started Louisville Metro Watchdog Alliance because I cared about what was going on in our government. That has been my time, my resources, my skills, my money. That is something I do because I care. And that is something I have invested a lot in, solely to get other people paying attention to what is going on in their government. Through that process, you know, I watch the council meetings, I watch the committee meetings, I watch the planning and zoning committee meetings. I have been involved heavily in every aspect of keeping watch on our government. So I'm well informed, I know what's going on, I see where there are inconsistencies and issues that need to be addressed. And along with that, I will say that through my watchdog efforts, I haven't just sat behind the keyboard and put out information. I have been involved. When I first branched out to get this started, it was because I got involved in some unrestrained developments that I thought were inappropriate, that were targeting a low-income, predominantly black community because they felt like they could get away with it there, and that the individuals in that community weren't going to have the skill and the means to fight back. And we did fight back, and we did win. And I think that that and a couple other things I'm not going to talk about tonight kind of bring us to where we are with this city filing a lawsuit against me. And I think that shows you I'm willing to stand and fight for truth, even if it costs me. Even if I have to fight to a higher level of court, I will stand and I will fight. The power endorsing power, the entrenched systems of the inner circle, that all needs to end. So thank you.
All right, that's Tina Burnell, Burnell. Her website is Burnell for FOR Mayor. Burnell.
I have cards I can give out to everyone.
Okay, and she has cards that she'll hand out. So burnellformayor.com. All right, I do want to remind the people online that even though these are primary elections, which when we were in the partisan era meant that it really wasn't even worth coming out to vote if you were an independent, because you weren't able to vote for almost any of the races. It is important for people that are registered as independents to come out and vote also. Not only can you vote in a couple of judges' races where there are active primaries, but you can also vote in these races, the Metro Council races and in the mayor race. All right. So can we get a loud applause for the people that were able to join us today? That's going to close out our time. I'm sure most of these candidates will hang around for a few minutes if you've got individual questions that you want to ask. And most importantly, I want to thank all of these people for throwing their hat into the race and being serious about trying to change the city by actually running for office. All right, that's all we've got. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We need it desperately.
Yeah, we'll post it online.
Yes, sir. Miss Tina, thank you.
We will try to post this video online. Check out the Louisville Tea Party Facebook group.
I held back. I held back a lot because it's a strategy.
How do I stop it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. I got you, man. Yeah.